Hello, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. So today it is cool outside and rainy, so I'm doing some inside stuff. I am starting my purple flash peppers. You know, I told you that last year I bought a seed packet and did not get any of them to come up, so I'm trying. They need like 80-degree temperatures, so I've got some little seeds right on here and I'm transferring them right onto this. It said 3 per deal, but I'm only putting 2. It also said to go ahead and thin them out once they come up to just 1 per this little, and I'm using this little seed starter kit that has a dome to go with it, because all those things are what it suggested, and I do want to go ahead and I would love to get them to come up. I don't know if they will, but I'm certainly hoping that they will. I'm going to go back over these and cover them now. And then I'll put them on I'm putting them on a little seed starting heat mat will be my next job. And I also read that you can start them in paper towels, so I'm actually going to try both. I'm going to try this, and then I'll actually put a few seeds in some damp paper towels and try to get them started that way. So hopefully, wouldn't it be great if they just all started, and I had, this is 25 right here, and then I'll have some in a paper towel, and if they just all start, that'd be wonderful. They say they just supposed to sprout in the paper towel, and then after they get sprouted, go ahead and put them in something similar to this, so that they'll finish their little job of growing it, of making a little seedling that I can go ahead and plant outside, or plant. I probably will plant mine in containers. It's just such a beautiful container plant with all those wonderful colors of just a tad bit of green and a buku bunch of black, white, and purple. So now I'm going to just put this little lid on it, which is supposed to help it keep warm. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that, and hopefully in a couple of weeks or so it'll sprout. So, soaked some little ranunculus bulbs and put them in this pot, and I'm going to try, and I guess it's a little bit late for doing this. As a matter of fact, I read that you should probably do them in January, so I did mine in March, the latter part of March actually, but I'm still hoping they will work. I've never had any luck with ranunculus. As a matter of fact, I've only had one to ever bloom for me, but oh, what a gorgeous bloom. It's like a rose that's just thicker and just so much petals, so many thick squeezed together petals. It's just a beautiful flower. I'm also changing the water in my glasses, and I wanted to show you that I do have some root on some of these vines, so that's great. Most of these are looking really pretty pathetic actually, but there's some looking great. Just look at this Coleus, Coleus, and then this is a copper plant. This is, I'm not sure the name of it. This is one of the Coleus, and I love it because of the dark purple veining in it, which goes really wonderful with purple flowers like petunias. And then this poor little, my purple night alternanthera, the only good it did me to save this was for the seed. And I did get some seed off of this, and I plan on planting a lot of it. I love this because the burgundy just blends in so wonderfully with the greens. And then I have some little sweet potato vines that made it, and look at this. This is a Alabama Sunset Coleus. Lots of times they're more of the yellow green or yellow. This one is just so burgundy, but very pretty. This little Coleus I've saved now for 2 or 3 years in the garden. I'm not sure the name of it either, but it's very pretty. Sometimes it's more pink than other times, but I really like it. So I've got some, hopefully, of course, there's still a lot of time still left. We'll probably get another frost, at least one. And I'm not planning on putting these out until about one of the last things that I plant. So, and this is, of course, the strawberry drop Coleus that trails, and it's beautiful. It just keeps going and going. There's another pretty little Coleus right there. So hopefully I can get these to do well and come back and look great in the garden. So I wanted to show you, actually we finished cleaning out the garden. That's so wonderful. I would be shouting with joy, but I'm too tired. But I wanted to show you this. I'll put a little clip on here to show you how I started out. My nails started out. But look, these made it. These actually made it through the whole thing. I might lose them today, but they made it through the whole thing. But this poor little right-handed, as you can tell, I am right-handed, but it's pretty much all gone. So anyway, that's the way it went. Look, I have little seedlings. I noticed them yesterday on March the 27th. Last night I noticed little ranunculus heads are peeking up from the pot where I planted them. That's exciting. And while my little seeds that I put in the paper towel are not really doing anything, just look at my little seedlings from the purple flash or purple splash peppers. Oh, I'm so excited about these because I never have done well at all with little seedlings. I almost don't even try it anymore, but I decided to try these because last year I did not get any to come up from the seeds I planted, so I thought I would plant them where I could look at them. So I'm just so excited about this. I hope they go ahead and bring me more and more excitement and not disappointment, because I know they may still not work for me, but right now I have hope. Hope is a wonderful thing. Today is April the 2nd, 2021, and the garden is all cleaned out. It has been for a few days now, and we actually recorded 102 hours that we spent cleaning. A little of that was also transplanting and planting. Planted this new little lace cap hydrangea, and I just can't wait till it grows up and gets beautiful and fills this whole area right here out. But that's the hope. So spring is such a season of hope when everything is new and beginning. And look at this beautiful flowering almond. What could say spring more than a beautiful baby girl pink? So, and I was going to say about those hours that I have recorded, it's not exactly right, I'm sure, because a lot of the time that my husband was out here helping me, I didn't go ahead and keep count of the times he came in and out to do some work out here. And then lots of times he took off the debris, which is definitely work too. So We didn't get him in there every time, but we got close, and I did get some of those times counted. So that's the closest I've ever gotten. I've never really tried to keep track of it before, and I think I may have already told you, but hostas are definitely coming up everywhere. There's a little one there. Although I looked back at some of my older posts back in 2018, I believe, or 2019. I think it's 2018 though, that I had tried some in these pots that don't have any. I had tried some, and now I'm seeing that they're totally gone, which really what that means is that the snails took them out. So I'm trying to replace those. I have some ordered, and I have some that I need to just go ahead and plant. So, and I'm going to try to plant a few things today. I'm not sure if my hostas are ready yet. I'm not sure if they came in with that last one. And also, I thought these were all going to come back because there are several little sprigs trying, but for the most part, they did not go ahead and come back after those days of freezing cold weather that we had. So I will have to replace almost all of these also. I can see there's a few right up here too that's trying to come back. But most of that will have to be replaced, but I'm excited about the hostas looking so good. This one had a plastic bag over it because this is glass, and that's the way I protect them through the winter. But look how much it protected this too. When I took it off, it's this big, whereas the ones around it that didn't have plastic on it are just now the smaller size. But they're coming up and looking great, and I'm proud of them and excited for them to watch them grow. See some little heads right back here too, and I do have diatomaceous earth on these because that's the thing that I've finally learned that will get rid of the snails for me, and that's what I need. This is a little Astromeria plant, and I'm hoping it'll be gorgeous and bloom this year too. And then this is a fern foliage bleeding heart, so that'll be nice too. These are some of my new ones right here, this one and this one. So and I think I need to fill this one out still. I need to put something in there, which I do have them ordered, or they may be in, but I don't think they were in. I looked through that quickly last night, and I don't think they were in the package that came in the mail, but I'll get those done, and hopefully they'll do well. I've had some that have been here for just many years actually, and this one I thought it was gone, but as I kept looking, I dug it up and put some, I don't know if you can tell, I'm not getting it in focus, but there's a little one, a little nub in there, up there in the center. And I think it will come on out and be pretty. I'm hoping it will, because this is a beautiful, like a lime green color, and it just had filled the pot out, but it's going to have to grow some more and do some more before it does now. And that's due to the snails, I'm sure. So, but I have now learned what will take care of those, I think. I'm sure they will aid in taking care of those, and I hope they will just totally get rid of them so I can have my pretty hostas here. They just do well here, and they just look good, and they come back every year, and it's just I just love them. So that's good. I know there's lots of pots that still need something in them, but I love those for color, and I usually use the Impatiens for color. There's lots of pretty colors in them. They do really well. If you can keep the snails and roly-polies out of them, keep them in the shade and keep them watered, and that's all they really ask, to shine and look gorgeous. And my little seed box is showing some signs of life. It'll be hard to find them here, but I'll find them for you, because I know there's one right there. There's a little cluster right right there, right here, sorry, right there. And then as we go up a little bit, here's a little cluster. I'm not sure what they are yet. I planted several different things here. I planted delphinium. I'm hoping some of them are and that they'll live and do well. I planted a few coneflowers. I planted some Canterbury bells, which I love, and some poppies. So I don't know which ones these are, or if anything more than this will come up, but actually I still love doing it from seed if I can get any at all on the head. So I hope these will turn out to be gorgeous. We'll see what they will become. And this little plant that looks dead here and is dead mostly, but there's some life in it right there. This is just a little candy tuft and white. And it was doing great until we had those 10 days of below freezing and some below 0 days. So it was rough on the plants. So I'm feeling some spring excitement, but I also have to say that it was very hard cleaning it out this year. Very, very hard. I don't know if my having had COVID made any difference, but my tiredness was a really almost debilitating. Actually, some days it was. I just couldn't come out here and work. But so far I've been able to bounce back, even though I really did not know if I would some of that time. I was beginning to think I just can't do it anymore. It was so hard. I guess when you get older, it's just hard for you to ever realize that you can't do that anymore until you just can't. But I'm still able to, even though I'm slower, and I still love it, and I'm so excited about it now that it's over. You can look back and see, remember when all this was nothing but just old dead garden debris from last year and looked horrible. Now it looks pretty great. I may have already shown you these because I purchased these from Janie's and from our local Walmart. So I still need to get these planted, but I was kind of waiting until hopefully till the last chance of frost is over, because this way I can just pick that little tray up and bring it in. And if I get them planted where I really want them, I couldn't do that. So I hopefully they'll be ready to go out when all chance of frost is gone. And these little Lenten roses are just doing great right here in these pots. I see I need to get that dead spot out of that one. But they're looking good. I like them here. If they'll go ahead and live here and do well, I think that may be prettier than when I had them in the ground. But you know, pots are a little bit more iffy when we have some really cold weather. They're just not protected like they are down in the ground. That cold was rough on our roses too. I think some of this is still dead. We did trim them, but I'm sure I'll have to come back out. I was going to give them a little chance and see if they might still put on some more leaves, but I don't know that they will. And as a matter of fact, I'm very much afraid that this one probably went back to the old rose. But I'm going to wait and see, because it was a beautiful apricot color rose, and I'm hoping that I still have it. But if I don't, I'll probably go ahead and get rid of it if it's the old rose, which I love, but I want different colors too, so I don't want them all to just go back to the old roses. But they can handle the cold, which some of the others can't. So, but this is the lilies that are coming up already. Just a little bit ago, they were just barely having their heads up. And I think this rose growing here is one of the old roses too, and I'll want to take that out, but I actually want to wait and make sure that I didn't plant something there, because I I forget why I planted where, especially when I do several at a time. Oh, look at these beautiful little, these are little miniature iris, and they're looking great right there. I need to probably put those in a different place where they can have more room to grow and not have so much bigger, taller stuff around them that it just kind of makes them, their beauty not shine. I want it to shine. And then speaking of things that can happen in that we don't like, it looks like there's another lily coming up right here too. I must have planted some there. And this is a peony, and this is Do Tell is the name of this one. And the reason it is not there, I started to say, speaking of bad things, that would be voles, V-O-L-E-S. And they eat all winter long, and they have eaten this. They took out last year, and I'm just now getting it replaced. But in the back, they've taken out several of my peonies again, about 3 or 4 of them, maybe more. I hope not more. I wish they wouldn't have taken any out. So, but I'll want to replace those too. But along with all the wonderful spring excitement and newness of life, that also happens. Just you come out here and find out that something has not made it through the winter, and that's discouraging, but we just have to go on. And I always think, well, it's just a plant, and plants can be replaced. Even though you love them and don't want to lose them, it's not like losing a family member. But it's so wonderful to get all this mess cleaned out. And I see that I've got more. I cleaned out a bunch of this from Indian blanket flower. I love them, but they were just coming up too many here. They will choke things out. And actually this area where you see there's nothing there is where I plant my dahlias, so I definitely want the dahlias here. I see I've still got weeds coming up that hen bed. I'm so sick of it, but you know, it just has to be dealt with. My goodness, I'm so tired. I'm so very tired. I just wonder how much longer I can do this, really, but I still love it. I'm still wanting to do it, so I'm just going to hang in there as long as I can. And look at this. Is that chocolate vine. And I need to read and make sure that it doesn't end up taking out my Rose of Sharon bush, but I did want to show you these pretty little chocolate blooms on here. Here's one of the pretty double daffodils. My little rose that was going strong at this, I don't see any sign of it. Oh, I hope it does come back. Oh, well, what am I saying? Look, it's all down at the bottom there, so it just has to grow up and come back up again. But I do see lots of pretty clematis vine. So hopefully this will look great again before very long. Most of the pots are empty right now. I haven't gotten around to doing those, but it won't be long now. I love to get it cleaned out before I start planting anyway, because it just way gets to be too much if I don't. And this is coming out over the path, so I want to take this up and transplant it where I actually need something in the ground. But yes, there's just so much to do all the time. These pots will need to be filled again. But it's always so fun to put stuff in them and watch them come to life. And this little area up against the fence is where I lost my peonies. I actually have replaced this one a little with a small one. It'll take it a while to get big, and that's just if the voles will leave it alone and let it get big. But they don't seem to like the daylilies, which is good, because I lost one here. I lost one here. I lost one here. Well, maybe not. I may not have planted another one that close to this one, because you can tell this one's getting up and it's looking good. But here's where I lost one. How many did I just say? 1, 2, 3. 3 or 4 already. I'm pretty sure right there was another one, so 5. But it may not have been. Those are pretty close together. I may not have had one there. So maybe just 4. Now you can make it 5. There's a spot that had a peony in it. Here's one that thankfully did make it. So I think I maybe lost 5. Looks like I at least lost 5 of the peonies. And this hose, that's another thing I've been doing, is laying hoses, because I think maybe if I just put down a regular hose and poke holes in it, it might work for me. I'm going to give that a try. That's the closest thing I found yet, if it will work. So far it has, since I put it on there, but this has only been on here a couple of days, so I'll just have to kind of work with it and see, like I have before. And I can see that I'm still having to pull up hen bit, and we'll have to, I'm sure, all season long, here and there where I've missed it, or where it wasn't coming up until after I got it. This is one of the roses that I trimmed back, and it had to be trimmed back a lot, but it looks like it's coming out of it pretty well too. So along with the excitement and joy and hope and wonder, oh, here's a little one I didn't get trimmed back. You can see all those dead stems on that little rose. I need to take those off of there so it can just put all of its energy into growing its healthy, big and strong and tall. But along with all the good stuff, I guess there's always got to be some disappointment. And I've been ordering things and realizing that a lot of things I've ordered over and over again that just didn't make it. One time I decided I was not going to do that, but then I kept trying with this one plant, and the 4th time it worked like a charm. So I'm like, maybe you just have to keep trying. It's hard to know what to do sometimes with it. But this is called white feather Hosta. It's just beginning to unfurl. Actually got all this side cleaned out too, so it's wonderful to come out here and see everywhere you look. It looks great to me, because even though it's small and just starting out, a little bit sparse here and there, it's clean. It doesn't have old dead debris everywhere. There'll be a little that I miss, but there's so much that's just looking great to me. I'll come out and put some of this pretty clematis. I'll weave it down through this somewhat like this, and so that it'll make a pretty little mound there when it blooms. I think I've already told you that this is the wormwood that came back And isn't that pretty? I'm so glad it did. I didn't know if it would after all that cold that we had. And of course that is a flowering almond. They're gorgeous in the spring. They do, however, put up little feelers all around them. So far they haven't gotten to be a problem in that they've put seed or something way out where you don't want it. So just kind of have to keep it pulled up around it if you don't want it to get too big or too filled out. But it feels so good to get it all taken care of. This is the little pussy willow tree. Looking good. And then across over here is our weeping willow. Things are greening up. I really noticed that today when we went into town. So I want to plant today some things. This is Good Friday, and I remember my dad planted something. I don't even know why. I think it's potatoes on Good Friday. But anyway, I'm not a vegetable planter, and I'm just learning about flowers as I go. So, but this is my favorite peony, and I do have one. I gave a bunch of starts away from it, and so it's kind of small and scragglier was last year. I hope it's bigger every year, but I'm going to try another one. It never hurts to have two, especially when you know that the voles can take them out. But that's my plan for the day. I have several things in there, and I wanted to tell you that my friend from the diner where we eat got me some gloves. They're called claws. So she said she hoped they helped me to save my fingernails. So look at these. These made it through all that work, and you can't imagine unless you've done it what kind of mess that was. But the other hand, on the other hand, looks like this. Oh my goodness. But there's really no help to save these now. But I'm going to try these out today and see. When I actually have seen them in the catalog before, and I thought, what a joke. Those will not work. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will work. I'm going to put them on and see. I can't imagine that you could use these like you could use your own fingers, because you know how busy they are out there in the garden. But if they do work and they do form the task of your regular fingernail without using your regular fingernail, wouldn't that be amazing? I would certainly be glad to eat crow on that one and say there's no joke to it. It's a real thing. I hope it's a real thing. We'll see. And also, thank you, Abby. That was such a sweet thing that you did for me. That makes 2 gifts I've gotten just for the garden from friends and just sharing it with them. Thank you for going on Garden Strolls with me. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.